Did anybody see this? Jordan Peterson did some really spooky, dooky event here. He went, and this is like shame on him. He's taking things too far. Jordan Peterson loves speaking events. He goes everywhere. He's really trying to make the most out of this opportunity that he's given. You saw him on our last show. He presented you with his new podcast idea where him and his daughter, Michaela Peterson, will be doing a show together. Woo! This is going to be good. But he did this. This was at an event. I think it just happened yesterday. And something got really creepy. Something really creepy happened. This came in from Casper. I'll read you this email that came in from this listener named Casper. He says, Jordan Peterson was at a Christian student summit the other day, delivering a speech. A demonic student jumps on stage, weeping. And I'm not going to read the rest. But he goes on to say, this, Mike, is the stuff of nightmares. Whoa.
Holy, I'm excited.
I thought Natasha Pearl Hansen was the stuff of nightmares. So, would you like to see this video? And again, shame on him. Why is he here? Wait till you see this place. Jordan B. Peterson, Liberty University. He's on stage here.
The creepiest school, by the way.
You know about Liberty University. It's Liberty like, U. Yeah, what happens there?
It's just like the most Christian university in all of America. So.
And they get together? What do they study over there? Christian sciences and stuff like that?
I'd say so.
Hold on, I got a drink. This is iced coffee today. By the way, we ordered Starbucks right before the show. It was nice. $28 for 2 breakfast sandwiches and 2 coffees. Jeez. That's a little high.
Yeah. Wow.
That doesn't include my gracious $3 tip to the Uber driver there. You know? Okay, here it is. On March 29th, 2019, North America's largest weekly gathering of Christian students. Ooh, imagine that. He gets on stage, and here's what happened. Let's take a look. I only got to view this shortly before the show.
Which was far louder than appeared on the video. And the reason that I was speaking forcefully,
there's like 4 more guys. There's this whole arena. It's like, on a basketball court. All right? And they're in the middle there. There's a Jumbotron. This is legit.
Or perhaps even somewhat angrily by the end was because not only was the white noise generator.
And then you hear that? Somebody jumps on stage. Did you hear that noise? This guy's on top of it over here. Whoever this guy is to the left of Peterson, he goes, hold on, we got a guy. This hasn't even happened at a Redbar event, believe it or not, before. Watch this.
By the end was because not only was the white noise generator.
Uh-oh, we got a guy.
My name is David Linauchu. I'm unwell. I need help. I need help. You're in the right. I just wanted to meet you.
Whoa, okay, so they're not showing this guy. They purposely now cut to the wide shot. You can see him all the way over here. But he jumps on stage. This is incelatory as fuck. Here he is. Whoop, I almost knocked that over. Do you see him? Am I far enough? I can't back up anymore. Thank you. There he is, a little guy in a white shirt. So let's see what happens here. This is breaking news.
I'm unwell. I need help. I need help. You're in the right. I just wanted to meet you. I'm unwell. I called 911.
I hope that you
get up there. I want to be well.
Find the help that you need.
Wow.
I want to know him better.
I want to know him better, he's yelling. He's dropped to his knees. He's voluntarily dropped to his knees. I'd like to know him better. Please. Now there's officers up, and then they cut to this.
You can hear him like sobbing.
Yeah, you can hear him. He's weeping. He's on his knees weeping now. They've cut to, they refuse to show it. They don't want to give attention to these cells. This is what I'm talking about. The incels are building. They're coming. They weep. Let's hear if we could hear anything.
Father, we thank you for David. We thank you that he's the treasure in your heart, Lord. We pray for.
So this arena, look at this arena. This arena's packed with like 30,000 cells. But you can still hear. Here's what's great about this. They all remain silent. The entire crowd. You know, this is the difference between Christian students and the rest of us. The entire crowd remains so silent that all you hear is the weeping of the incel being beaten to death by security.
Father, we thank you for David. We thank you that he's the treasure in your heart, Lord. We pray for healing for him, salvation for him, restoration for him. Right now, just come into his life and let him know that he's
You hear him?
valuable to you. Lord, I pray that in this moment that you would.
Yeah, it's infuriating. Hale Sven says, how do you not talk about what's going on? I know, I hate when people cut away from the juiciest moments. I guess they don't want to encourage this. You know, this is a Christian convocation.
Convocation. So
Yeah,
this
that's
is like
a
their
word?
Graduation. Yeah, convocation is like graduating from university.
Wow,
So this-
convocation?
Yeah.
Yikes. If this was Redbar, we'd definitely have the whole show would be over. We'd only be focusing on this guy who jumped on stage. But these norms, they like to cut away. Let's see, they're going to talk about it when they come back.
Begin to work in his spirit. Lord, we let him know that we're for him, we're not against him. That God,
Ooh, he says.
Even that he's here, that you put him here in this moment. We pray this in your name.
So they're doing like a prayer while this is happening?
They're praying for the guy, probably.
So he's being subdued, and instead of anybody exclaiming, hey, what's going on? What's going on? They instantly know what to do. This is really weird. While the man's being tackled and probably tied up in all sorts of plastic zip ties and stuff like that, and thrown into, you don't even want to know the type of weird holding cell that they must have at this college. You know what I mean? This is the kind of college where they've told the local police department, if you hear anything, call me first. The dean. If you hear any weird stuff about the college, call me first. So the police force kind of don't come around. They let the college handle their own problems, right? So imagine the kind of holding room that they've got for this kid and what goes on there. But what's startling is they don't miss a beat. As soon as this kid comes, it's like they all know what to do, and then someone gets on stage and just starts telling a light prayer. While you hear the weeping moans of the kid. You don't hear any chatter from the 20,000 people in the stands. No rumble. No, oh my God, what is this happening? They just all accept that this was bound to happen, and they sit and watch. That's fucking creepy, right?
Holy fuck.
That's creepy. You know, that's the difference. It was like when Trump won. You know, one of the weirdest things that happened when Trump won is that silent night following afterwards. Remember that? Remember how confusingly weird that was? We stood up here. We watched the election with you that night. And when Trump won, the Democrats just stood there in the stands and they were showing footage from all around of Democrats, and they were just speechless. They just sat there making odd faces. No talking, no discussing. On a mass level, not just like one group of them were acting weird. All of them were acting weird. What drives so many people to act so weird at the same time? All right, let's see how this pans out.
Everybody look forward. So this is come on.
Wait, yeah, somebody says that night was lit. That's on the Scars Club, right? Us watching the election. It's got to be on there. We watched the entire election as it unfolded live. And, yeah, we were hooting and hollering when that happened. You should go watch it. I bet rewatching that would be wild, knowing what we know now, right? Scars Club. All right, let's see how they wrap this up.
I think students today probably went through some of the most stressful times of your lives. You don't know who your spouse will be, what your job will be. You are still finding.
So they're still doing the prayer.
You've got exams from professors like Gary Habermas here to face.
Okay, now some psycho comes back. He's talking. Some family ties psycho. And again, no. Wow, that was crazy. Wow, man, sorry about that. Nothing. Just crazy, weird babble. You know, as if you don't bring it up again, if everyone will just forget about it, maybe they'll go back into Christ mode or something. Can't you have some sort of awareness? Like, at least raise your eyebrows a bit, you know?
We just have to remember that, David. You know, we're older, we're set in life, and these guys are just coming up and
Okay, here, now finally they're going to address
so
it.
you
See,
guys
Jordan
are-
Peterson wants to do a whole thing.
He's shook.
Yeah, well, because one of these guys is going to come up with a hook. You know, Candyman style, the kind of hook that you hold in your palm. It's got the hook that comes through your fingers. You know, it's really going to happen. I'm surprised we don't have more high-profile assassinations Very few high-profile assassinations ever. That's how you know this is a relatively safe place to be, right? Think about all these people that are all so hated. Not them, but I mean, everybody who's famous has all these, hatresses. You would think there'd be some better assassinations. There's never assassinations. I'll stop. Like my whole life, we've never really had one. Seems like right before I was born, there were so many.
Yeah, they were happening like
60s and the
every
70s, So many great mainstream assassinations. Okay, let's see. So Jordon Peterson sitting here wearing his villainous blue Saturday night suit.
I'll be in our prayers too.
Let me tell you something. I think what you just saw is where a lot of you are, but David's just honest enough to cry for help.
Whoa, that's an interesting take. I think what you guys just saw is like what you're all going through. Okay, so you're addressing an entire crowd of people like that, and you're not sitting up there like this while you talk into your microphones. Hey, everybody, I'm just holding this gun at you for safety purposes. I hope that's okay. All right? I just have to be safe. So, yeah, there's a lot of interesting points in Jordon's book. Imagine that, somebody giving in a talk while really kind of stressfully holding a gun at the crowd. That would be.
School is a creepy place. Like, I knew a girl who went there, and she would say that if you did any sins, like if they found out you had sex or anything like that, you'd be kicked out of the school. So you have to follow the Lord's
We should
rules
start
to a T.
harassing Christians, focusing on them. Okay, let's see how he gets out of this.
You guys will all be in our prayers too.
Oh, cool.
Let me tell you something. I think what you just saw is where a lot of you are, but David's just honest enough to cry for help. And some of you are at a place, and this is I think why your book has connected with people. You're at a place where
Don't touch him.
You're just looking for answers. No one ever taught you basic principles of life, basic survival skills. No one ever.
Wow. Okay, and you think that I'm mean to incels? I think many of you out there, nobody's taught you basic principles, how to be a person, how to survive. So yeah, you're all like this. That's crazy. So we do have a real incelatory problem. Why don't you just lock them in this room, okay, until further notice?
No one ever taught you basic principles of life, basic survival skills. No one ever told you to make your bed or to show up and listen and learn. And then the dam breaks. And in those moments, I'd rather you be here in this context and in this community, because I can tell you from our community group leaders to our RAs to our RSs and to every student here that we think God has you here for more than just an education, but for community.
Oh.
And hold on, don't clap. Hold on. I don't want us to alleviate
Which God? Earth God or space God? I mean, we really need to figure this one out. Does God oversee the cosmos? I need to know.
The flat Earth.
I can't imagine God being able to go into those nebulas. Even he'd be confused.
God's saying in this moment, and I'll be the first to tell you in front of our distinguished guests that these rules
Peterson.
Work, but all of them stop short without the ruler, without Christ in your life.
Wow.
And we are here for that. And we're here for you.
They're so vague that can't they at least rewrite religion to make sense? You know what I mean? Like they're so vague. You need to have Christ in your life. The guy? Why? You know what I mean? Like at least update this stuff so that it makes a little bit of sense,
They couldn't. It would never
exactly.
make sense.
You must let Christ in your... It's like, come on, stop saying that. That's very old-fashioned. He's speechless.
So glad that happened.
Whoa! I'm so glad that happened. And Peterson's like, well, Peterson's thinking about how he's got to change his whole tour and how this is going to cost him $78,000.
He looks genuinely bothered.
In addition, yeah, because seriously, because this is now he's got to worry about people rushing his stages, because he knows, well, this hasn't happened yet. So now it is a reality.
He's going to lay awake for 30 days.
Yes, exactly. This is a sensitive guy. Yeah. Impending doom, all that stuff.
I'm so glad that happened, because I think it just elevates. Pardon me?
It was a little hard on David.
No, not at all.
Whoa.
What the fuck?
Why is Peterson weeping? Jordan Peterson now is acting like a Christian creep. It's a little harder on David. What?
Well, I think he's calling out this guy for being creepy.
Who's David?
The guy who ran on stage.
Oh, how did they know that?
I think he said, my name's David.
Oh.
I mean, maybe.
It's a little harder on David. Okay.
Why do you think men like that, and so many of us, are just crying out for help finally? Obviously, you just see this visible manifestation.
This is why I'm showing you. What is going on? They're saying these are not men. What the fuck is this? These guys are fucked. This is an awkward moment. Is he crying? Yeah, this is odd. Can't Jordan Peterson be like, I appreciate that this is technically a gig, but not really my style. I'm going to stick. Why would you go? So now he's just going to be this weird Christian version of himself for the Christian guys? I wouldn't even allow a guy to talk to me in this manner. What you have to do is let Christ into your heart. Isn't that right, Brother Jordon? I'd be like, get off of me. You're very creepy. Are you Persian? Why are you even here? You need to be at least 10 shades whiter to be up here.
Station, like that's not conjured up. That's real. Why do you think that...
You're going to say the word conjure to Jordan Peterson? You're going to give this man a heart attack.
Well, it's so obvious why people are in... Like, for me, as a clinical psychologist, I've always looked at things...
He's crying.
I think, in some ways...
He was just touched again.
From the opposite perspective of most... And maybe even most psychologists. It's never been a mystery to me why people are depressed. It's never been a mystery to me why people are anxious and unsettled. It seems obvious why they're concerned and hurt and anxious and unsettled. I think the mystery is how it is that we can conduct ourselves so that can remain under control. I mean...
Okay. Well, I think it is under control. You had, again, 15,000 of them sitting in those stands. Not one of them joined in. Not one of them cheered. Interesting. Very fucking strange. This Jordan Peterson is on extreme watch, but not for the reasons you think. There's something very dark going on with this guy. Old school dark, too. A darkness that we haven't seen since the days of Salem. The days when, people did fear myths and folklore and legend. He brings back vibes from times of uncertainty.
Totally.
Times where there were men and women who dealt with visitors from the other side. I think something is happening. I mean, you see it with Michaela Peterson. It's really not a joke anymore. They showed this video. She's getting what's called red light therapy. And then they zoomed out. She's living in a treehouse. Did you know this? She's living in a treehouse in Jordan Peterson's backyard. It's all red lights inside. And you just see when you come walk into the yard, you see this treehouse.
I think I have a pic of it.
Yeah, up in the tree. And you just hear zzz, and you go, what is she doing up there? Nobody knows. She won't allow anyone to come up to the treehouse. Yeah, we'll show you a picture of that.
Sending it to you.
Brandon Mueller says, ha, 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 ha. Here it comes. So, I don't dislike Jordan Peterson, It's nice to have him around. Like, imagine if Jordan Peterson wasn't around. Wouldn't things feel even worse, to have nobody talking? All right, is the picture here? Yeah, I want to... Oh, my God, this is real. And here it is. So this is Jordan Peterson's backyard in Canada. And this is what he set up for Michaela. Seriously, this is what they found. This picture was taken by people who snuck onto his property. And what you're seeing here is a treehouse, very tall ladder. I mean, this thing's probably about 30, 40 feet in the air. And it's all red, and she'll spend days up there. Yeah, this is true. People are saying, wow, this is insane. This is satanic. LOL, dark. What the fuck? That's her therapy temple. People are saying yes. I'm going to get her established in a tree. Okay, fuck, this dude is into some occult shit. That looks like it's from a horror movie. No, please tell me you're joking. The Nightmare Chamber. Yes, he established her with Satan. Remember that when people say the word established, I like to fill people in because it's a really funny joke. Maybe we can find that. I want to play that clip again. The established clip.
Ooh, where do I find it?
You might be able to go through our show notes search through our show notes and type in like Jordon Peterson H3H3, and maybe we have that, because there was a clip where they're like, and what do you do with the Patreon money? It's kind of like mask money. Where did it go? What do you do with the Patreon money? And Jordon Peterson said, well, I used a lot of that money to get my daughter established in NYC. This could easily be the DVD cover to a horror movie. Ooh, a DVD cover, huh? Yikes. Jordon Peterson worships an eldritch demon lord. Kumia is in there. This is legit the last scene from Hereditary. I can't stop laughing, says someone. I don't know why. So yeah, that's her little house. You can even see her up there doing some. And to prove that, so people think we're joking. So now let me take you to Michaela Peterson's Instagram page. Check this out. I love how everybody always thinks that everything on here isn't. Wow, I type in the word M on Instagram and it goes right to Michaela.
Wow, that's good.
Damn.
I think it was a pic on her story.
Fuck, we got to find it. There's got to be one. There's got to be one in the Bring Back group. See if you could find it, or if anyone has the photo I'm talking about, the red light showing her inside this house. Oh, you've got it. Nice. Sorry, I was just going through a story. And did we find anything about the H3H3 stuff?
I haven't found that yet.
Okay. All right, look at this. Don't believe me? It's coming. Okay. This is from her Instagram. I know people think that's a filter. Look at this. She took a picture, a selfie of her in the house, in the tree. This is not edited. Why would I have this just edited and ready to go? So here she is. Look, looking terrifying. And yeah, she's in that treehouse up there. And then people go, what does she do up there? Apparently just takes selfies. Same stuff she does in the bedroom. You know, same type of deal. Are we going to find that Peterson clip, do you think, or it's a lost cause?
I think it might be a lost cause.
Okay, if anyone knows the time code of that would be great. But yeah, there she is. And there's thousands of pictures of her like this with the red light on her. So it is proof. Yeah, somebody says proof. No filter. Cable Box Birds, is that it maybe? The establishment? Let's see.
What it's at now. How has that money enabled you or changed?
Wow, very good job. Thank you, Cable Box Birds. Look at this. There's Ethan looking like a straight up grandma. I gotta grow my hair like that. He should keep his hair like that. That's fucking crazy. You should see what that really looks like. It looks like Artie Lang and Crashing. All right, let's hear this. He's gonna ask him what he does with the Patreon money. And, you know, now thinking back to this, Ethan's asking because he's jealous of how much Peterson's making, and it must be, you know, not right, right?
40,000. I don't know what it's at now. How has that money enabled you or changed the way you live your life? What has that done for you?
Well, I still haven't figured that out. I mean, it's enabled me to help my kids get established in the city. So
wow, there it was. Established in the city. Okay? The patron money that you give him has helped him to establish Michaela Peterson in the city. What does that mean? Get her an apartment, pay for a year's worth of rent, buy her the apartment, get her clothes, give her money for a year until she figures out what to do. What does that mean? Are you comfortable with your Patreon money going towards that? Why does he need Patreon money? Can't an author who sells a book, can't that be his profession? Or does everybody need to double dip? Oh, thank you all for buying my book. By the way, can you give me extra money just for the hell of it? Because I'd like extra money. Isn't that weird?
Not even for him, for his daughter.
You shouldn't be able to have these donation things unless you're not a professional seller. You know what? If you're not a professional selling something professional, then fine. It should be for underground guys, you know, that need that money to do what they're doing. It really has. This never used to be like this. The only people who took donations and stuff like that or listener handouts were people that really needed it. And now millionaires just take money, just monthly money from their supporters for nothing so that they could buy their daughter a condo. Well, yeah, I would love to have extra money to buy somebody a condo. But you don't just open up a Patreon for that.
Enabled you or changed the way you live your life? What does
Let's
that
hear
done
that again.
for you?
Well, I still haven't figured that out. I mean,
Right.
it's enabled me to help my kids get established in the city, so that's been really useful. It's enabled me to plot a course that's where there's a lot more risks involved. So, for example, I rented the Isabel Beater Theatre in Toronto last year. I rented it for 12 sequential.
Yeah. How much did that treehouse cost, you think? $30,000? We're going to look into that. And you know who else is doing it?